Hello guys, it's Adnan here, and it's my second day of documenting my journey throughout the AI space. And for those of you who are here for the first time and watching me for the first time, I am documenting my journey throughout the AI and automation space as I learn every day. And I have started from scratch, and I want to document everything, and I want to take you guys on this journey with me, so that one day we can all look back and just see how much progress I can make. So today is my second day of my learning, and I have stumbled upon some interesting topics for today. And first, I want to talk about the technology adaptation cycle. So what does it mean? It's basically whenever a new technology comes into our life, how we as a whole or all the people, how do they adapt to the new technology? Do they adapt early? Do they take some time and be skeptical about the technology? They first need to need some evidence or proof that the tech actually works, and it will help them in some way. Then they adapt to the technology, and some people start using it when the technology actually starts dying out, basically. So it's called the technology adaptation cycle, and I'm gonna put a picture of that in the screen right now. So as you can see, there are 4 stages of the tech adaptation cycle, and the first portion of the cycle is actually called the innovators. These are the people who you can tell they are very tech savvy. They are usually open to try out new technology whenever they come out, and usually people from academia tend to be more open to tech adaptation than normal people, because usually they are the first ones who try out different things. As an easy example, when internet first came out and it was made available to the public for use, people from academia used it more than the others, and usually as it started to become more popular, more people started to use it, and the first generation of people, you can say, are called the innovators. Then we have early adopters. You can say they are the visionaries. They're excited about the tech product. They are also risk takers. If they're business owners, they are willing to take the risk so that they can, if the technology is actually good, by taking that risk, they actually increase their chances of succeeding in the future and staying ahead of the curve of their competitors. And after that, we have the early majority and late majority, and ending with laggards. So early majority and late majority, these are the people, we can say they are pragmatic. They need some proof or evidence that the technology actually improves some aspects of their business or their lives, and then they can start using the technology. And finally, we have laggards. These are the people who adopt the technology at the last. So the reason I talk about this cycle, the reason it's relevant for us for this video, is we are actually we have entered a new age of AI and automation. And once I read that line somewhere, probably in Reddit, or I don't remember, probably it was in an YouTube comment, and basically what it said is that after electricity, AI will be the AI is the next big thing for humanity, because in between these two things, nothing, no invention can be compared to them, because uh, these things are monumental to the progress of humanity, and it helps to um, it helps to improve everything in an exponential fashion. And that's how we can compare AI to electricity. So right now, as AI is a relatively new technology for most people, I would say ChatGPT was the first thing. So it has been around for 2 to 3 years. So everything is still relatively new. And so if we compare that technology life cycle to AI and automation, we are in the innovation and early adopters phase, because new AI solutions are coming out every day. Businesses, those who are willing, those who are early adopters, those who are visionary, they are willing to try those solutions for their business and see if they can actually work, if they can actually optimize their business and reduce costs. So yeah, so it's a great concept actually. So coming on to the next section of today's video, I want to talk about n8n. Maybe you have seen something like n8n in YouTube or LinkedIn posts recently, because it's people are flooding out the feeds with n8n stuffs. So I had to look into it, as I'm just learning everything with no coding background. And basically n8n offers a no coding solution for automation, as far as I know. And today I opened an n8n account and tried out the workspace. I haven't built anything yet. I'm just starting to get used to the process and all the relevant stuffs about it. So yeah, let's talk about n8n. Before jumping on to n8n and its workflow and its user interface, we can talk about what is automation actually, because we are doing all these things so that we can actually automate some stuffs, build AI agents or stuff like that, right? So automation is important. That's why we need to talk about automation and what its purpose is actually. Okay, so first of all, what is automation? Automation is basically automating tasks that is boring, repetitive, and basically, for example, we can say copying entries from one sheet to another. It's boring, it's time consuming, and there are possibility of human errors when we are talking about large amount of data. So that's when automation comes in. It reduces the time, it makes the whole workflow easier, so that humans can actually focus on more important topics to discuss and improve upon. So what is automation? I'm just reading it loud. Automation is a predictable set of steps that moves data from one point to another. So it may sound fancy, but imagine this. For businesses, let's say you have a contact form in your website, and someone fills out that form. Let's say you run a B2B business. So whenever someone fills out that form, if you set an automation in the background, an AI agent or whatever to do those stuffs, so what will it do, or what it can do? First of all, whenever someone submits a contact form, they will input their company name or company URL or website address. So usually you will have a database of everything. So if someone doesn't enter any company address or stuff like that, so what the automation will do, it will ignore that. Then if let's say if someone enters a company name which is a small company, or that company is not that much relevant to your services, so what would you do? Actually, you wouldn't do. What would your automation or your bot do? It would take that entry, take that company, take that person's email or information, and put it in a, let's say, in an email list, so that you can actually contact him later. So right now it's not a priority for you. And then let's say the company is actually important for your business, so then it can directly alert your sales guy on Slack. So as we can see, basically, if I summarize everything, someone fills out a form, your system checks what kind of company they are from, and based on that, it either ignores it or adds the lead to an email list, updates a spreadsheet, or alerts your sales guy on Slack. So that whole chain, there's an automation, and that was the easiest example that I can come up with right now. So next steps are core building blocks. So for automation, you have 3 core building blocks, and those are trigger, filter, and actions. So we can compare this. I do not want to jump into details about those things, but in general, trigger is the thing that actually starts the automation process. For example, let's say you walk into a restaurant and you order some food to the waiter. So the ordering process is actually the trigger which starts the whole automation thing. Then comes the filter. So filter is the basically referring back to a previous example, when whenever someone fills out the contact form, you can actually filter out if the lead is high value or low value to your business. So depending on the filter and the filtration process, the automation will deliver different results. And lastly, you have actions. Actions are the things like updating your sheets, downloading a file or uploading a file, notifying someone, etc. So the overall thing is called a workflow, and you can do everything inside n8n. I do not come from a coding background, but I do know before jumping out to create a huge workflow or huge automation, you need to map everything out first. Otherwise, let's say you gave 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours building a project, then you realized it can be done, it's not attainable. That's why at first you need to map out everything, what you need, the computation time, if you can actually do it or not, the requirements, etc. basically. So later on we can discuss what API and webhooks are. API is actually application programming interface. You may have or may not have heard the terms. I personally have heard the terms when first ChatGPT came out and there were API keys or stuff like that. I didn't understand what that meant, but intuitively I got that you can use API keys to access the product or software services outside from their interface. And let's say you are building AI chatbot, so you can actually use ChatGPT's power inside your own AI chatbot, and you need API or API keys to do that. So we can give an example. Think of it like a waiter in a restaurant. So you are the client and you ask waiter for a food. So waiter is actually the interface or API So when you ask something from it, it takes your order and goes to the kitchen. The kitchen is actually the application. So after the cooking is done, that same waiter takes your food from the kitchen and delivers it to you. So the waiter is actually the API, you are the client, and the kitchen is actually the actual software. So next up, we have why should we use APIs? Because they simplify complex systems, first of all, and secondly, you can access various services inside your own workflow. You do not have to actually open everything at once. You can access those things from your workflow inside n8n. So we can actually break down the API request. What does that mean? And it usually uses HTTP request. So HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. So it has actually 4 main parts. I'm just gonna read it from a list. First up, we have URL. Second, we have method. Method means what action to perform actually. What do you want to do with the API request? And third, we have header. And fourth, we have body. And as you know, as you are accessing a service from outside the original provider, you'll need some kind of authentication or credentials. So that's where API keys come in. Let's say you want to use ChatGPT in your chatbot. So you would ask OpenAI for API keys. Of course, you have to pay a subscription fee for that. It will give you the key, and you use that key in your chatbot. So it's like actually a lock. It's actually key for a lock, right? So then we have API response breakdown. We have actually 4 status codes. So those status codes are 200, which means success, 401, which means unauthorized. That means you have invalid credentials or your API keys don't work. And there is 404, which means not found. We all know this status code as we have seen in while navigating through websites, which means usually the thing you are searching for, and that's not in the URL that you typed. And finally, we have 500, which means server error. So next up, we have webhook. Webhook is basically a reverse API. So if we want to give an example, let's say you use Slack or you use Stripe for payments. So you want to know if someone has come into your account or not. So what you can do, you can ask Stripe, send API requests that whenever a new payment has come into my account, notify me as soon as possible. So you can continue doing that. You ask Stripe, hey man, is my payment here? And it replies with no, not yet. Then you ask again. So instead of doing that, we have reverse API, which is called webhook. So you do not need to ask. It tells you when something happens. So it's actually reverse API. And for an easy example, so let's say you are waiting for pizza. You have ordered pizza from your home, and you are waiting for the delivery man to deliver it to your home. So what you are doing, after every few minutes, you are going to your door, looking at the doorknob, and opening the door and checking if the delivery guy has come yet or not. You can do that, or you can wait for the doorbell to ring. So you wait, but then whenever the doorbell rings, you go to the door and reach for your pizza. So you can do that. So it's basically reverse API or webhook. So yeah, that's what I studied today. In summary, at first we talked about technology adaptation cycle. Then we talked about what AI automation is basically, and how, and later on we are actually diving deep into the core components of AI automation. I have opened n8n account, and in the upcoming days, hopefully I'll try to build a project of mine, maybe some easy AI agent to start with. And yeah, I'm gonna share everything in my journey. See you tomorrow.